Okay.
Here we are.
Wait, is this a live? Wait, this is a live stream. We need to stop that. You know what? Let's just wing it. I guess.
Let's do it.
No, wait. Calm down. Yes, we're toggled. Are you toggled?
I don't know. How do I do that?
Well,
I've never toggled on my own.
Yes, you have.
I have?
Yes.
You have to show me how to do it.
No, you've done it before. It says live again, but it's not a live stream. You know what? We're going with it.
Let's do it.
I'm just, you know what? Recording
Technology.
right
I think you need to toggle more often.
Well, I'm toggled. You're toggled.
Live to the masses, like the thousands, hundreds of thousands of people.
I certainly hope not, because I am not prepared for that. But, oh God.
It's okay. We can always, well, if it's live, you can't cut it out. But you know what?
Oh.
It'll make someone will be interested in it, I'm sure.
Well, if it's live, where's it going?
Maybe only to your house and my house.
Oh my God. Happy Pride. Happy Pride. Technology will be the end of my life.
I think you need to have a cocktail and calm down.
Okay, well, let's do that later. Do you want to open? Do you want me to open? How would you like to do it?
Well, let's start with hi.
Oh, hi.
And welcome to Don and Gary doing 60.
Yes, okay.
Hi.
Hi.
I am Gary.
I'm Don.
And together, well, we're both over
doing
60.
Oh my God. Listen,
And-
welcome to the Don and Gary doing 60 podcast. We're here to unwrap, navigate, and work the world at this age.
As best we can.
You know, today is a day. You can find us on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us wherever you can wring that dead cat around your head and throw it. You're going to find us. You're going to find us on YouTube at the Pfeiffer Pod. Gary, oh my gosh, that was a lot of work.
It was. And we might be recording, we might not.
And we might be going live to the entire universe. And we might
Wow. Had I known, I would have zhuzhed up a little. But
Yes.
on this episode,
Yes.
we're going to be talking about Pride and Prejudice.
Yes, we are. Yes.
And you can take that any way you want. The way I took it was the novel from the 1800s.
Okay.
Is that not right? Because I have notes here.
Well,
Jane Austen, when she was 21
okay.
years old, published
Well,
this book in 1813.
and we thought this would be interesting somehow because
I thought we were just trying to get or look smarter.
okay, well,
But I never read the book. I never saw any of the movies.
okay, well, here's the thing. It's Pride Month. We're halfway through it. It's about time we contributed to the Pride content world. So let's take a break, confer again, and we'll come right back.
Okay. Yeah. That makes more sense. So, okay.
Oh my God.
I've got other notes, though.
We'll be right back. And we're back.
Yay.
Yay.
Well, now that you've set me straight, as it were,
Well,
we're talking about Pride.
yes.
We're in the
And-
month of June.
Yes.
And I named it Pride and Prejudice because in the times that we are in, there's a lot of negative stuff going on
True.
that is targeted towards the LGBTQ plus community.
Yes.
So some of the things I found are some things on the positive side, and then unfortunately some things on the negative side. So do we want to start negative and end with positive, or?
I think, okay, because let's do this. Let's trade off our subjects because I actually
Yes.
found a couple of things too. I wanted to talk about the Pride celebrations and the El Scandalos that were happening here in SoCal with regards to Pride celebrations. I also wanted to talk about pride in the commercial world. What I mean by that is the how it was represented in the retail world and how it's changed drastically from the
Right.
time when we
Yes.
started COVID. Do you have that too? Is that you too?
I've got a little of everything.
Okay.
I got stuff from all over.
Okay. Well,
So
I can
you
do
want to
this
kick
too.
us
You know, if
off?
we want to rip up my notes, I will.
Not at all.
All
Don't
right.
you rip anything.
Okay. So why don't you go first then?
So since I am in San Francisco,
Yes.
and it does have one of the largest pride parades, pride celebrations going on, it's a little overshadowed right now by the conversations that happened last Friday. Was the Giants pride game. They have different themes that they have throughout their season, and here's just a few different games of the season. There's Mexican Heritage Night, Irish Heritage Night, Firefighter Appreciation Night, Jewish Heritage Night. I mean, all the different Heritage Nights, just saluting different groups, different communities. And so in line with that, last Friday was the LGBT appreciation. And the controversy was that Giants have always been big supporters.
Mm-hmm.
And what they did for that particular game is they had all the players had baseball caps that normally are black with the orange logo for their team. But for this game, they had, in lieu of the regular logo, they had a pride colored logo.
Oh.
And that's what they're supposed to wear. But one player chose to wear the regular uniform one. He didn't have no controversy there. He just chose not to wear the pride one. And that's how he made a statement. 3 other players wore the pride hat, but they added a Bible verse kind of in front.
Really?
And that has blown up big time. And they were reprimanded because you're not supposed to alter your uniform in any way whatsoever. So the easy way, if they didn't want to support Pride Night, was just to wear their regular hat.
Okay.
But they wore that. And the Giant management issued a statement, saying that's not us. That's, with the team, that's not how we feel. But for a lot of people, it pissed them off. It wasn't enough of an apology. And it from one game, it became this big conversation in the sports world, in the news world, across the country. And it's just left a tainted mark on what should have been just a fun night, a fun game, supporting LGBTQ community, and it just had a bad aftertaste.
Yeah, and the repercussions. I mean, when we talk about what's happened when it comes to consuming, also there can be a huge pivot and restructuring on how people spend their money.
Right.
And I know it's not inexpensive to go to a baseball game, but I guess, what else? Do you have any more on that? Because I've got an opinion too.
Well, so the part of the conversation, because it was a mix of they were making political statements. So then it became a mashup of politics and sports. So
and
that's
religion
why
maybe too. Any religion in there?
and religion, sure,
Yeah.
yes.
Oof.
So and because everything is so combative on both sides of the aisle, everyone's chiming in, and well, they should have done this, they couldn't have done that, and it's just sucking up all the airwaves. What it's doing right now, for a little bit, at least locally, it's taking away attention from what's going on in the White House and the administration, and a certain pool that might be turning green and blue paint. And the blue paint peeling up, but I don't want to get into that.
Oh, I've got a scandal about that because I was just seeing somebody else reporting on it too about the paint coming up. So,
other than that, there's a lot of stuff going on because a lot of excitement, and not just LGBTQ, but in this one because the FIFA soccer games have started.
Yeah.
And so they're being hosted all up and down the coast. So I'm sure there's some near you.
Yeah.
There's some here and then further north. And other parts of the country as well. But it's a big, huge thing where all the bars are having watch parties. There's a lot of buzz, a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, a lot more people coming to town because we're coming close to 4th of July. They're starting, I want to say this weekend, and going through July 4th, this big light show that's going to go across the whole city in rainbow colors and just different events going on. So there's a lot of positive things going on.
And wasn't there a new monument opened up in Civic Center, or was there new light? kind of
That
thing?
that light fixture I just mentioned,
Yeah.
it's called 7 by 7, and because that's the square footage of San Francisco, 7 square miles,
Mm-hmm.
or 749 square miles, excuse me, 7 by 7. But anyway, they that light installation, I guess, is going to be centered in a civic center right by City Hall.
Yeah.
But you'll be able, because it will be so huge, you'll be able to see it from all parts of the city.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
that looked pretty amazing, actually. I saw
Right.
some kind of an AI version of it, but it looked
Right,
like it's
right.
going to be beautiful.
Yeah. And then, so next weekend, the 27th and 28th of June is the big celebration here, with the parade being on that Sunday. So there'll be a lot more people in town, hopefully supporting a lot of local businesses,
Right.
people generally pretty well behaved, but just, especially if there's good weather, everyone's going to be out and about and having a good time.
Yeah. Well, okay. So here's a couple things. I did not realize, I don't know how I missed that story from the Giants game, but something similar happened last year at the Dodgers game, where there was talk of not participating in a Pride event during the month of June with baseball. And there was a huge uproar, and the baseball club came back and said, yes, we will be doing this. So there was actually a point where they were not even going to do it, as I recall. So that was a major backlash that started grassroots efforts to bring it back. But luckily the club came back. Where these decisions are made, who knows where it happens?
Right.
And who decided? Yeah. And I guess I have a controversial thing to say about the baseball hats. Not everyone supports every cause.
Right.
Not every person supports everything. People have their religious beliefs. People have their own viewpoints on the LGBTQ plus community. Not everyone has to support it. Not everyone supports, Catholics. Not everyone supports Jewish people. Not everyone supports, pickleball. So, I mean, it's one of those things where, yes, you can absolutely, and I think, in certain ways, I'm sure there's ways you could do it. I think the one player that just chose to wear the regular hat, that was his choice, right? I mean,
right.
And
they mention him, but it's kind of a side note, because there was no controversy. That's what he chose to do. And
right. But, but the religious comments on the side, or whatever the verse might have been, of course. And what really shakes me about this is that it gets so controversial, and then it gets toxic, because I'm sure people started to throw politics into this.
Yes.
Mix
for sure.
On top of the LGBTQ plus Pride Month, the religious side of it, the free speech rights, just make it a baseball game. And there's so many things. And I'm sure if you look at any of the content providers that are doing this, or any of the blogs, or it's all going to turn toxic. And unfortunately, politics gets so wrapped into it, then people just start throwing that in, and it just turns into a tire fire,
So I don't know how long, a year ago, 2 years ago, I don't follow baseball, but some of the teams during the whole Black Lives Matter era, that they were putting patches or something of support on their uniforms, which, going back to what the Giants have said about the rainbow thing, is like, you're not supposed to alter your uniform. But then they brought up, well, how come during the Black Lives Matter times, when they were putting patches and things on it, no one said anything about that?
Yeah.
So, right. I mean, it just gets messy and toxic when you start mixing.
Did anyone try the argument about altering was it the SF or whatever the insignia was in rainbow? Did anyone try and say that was altering the uniform?
It wasn't altering the uniform, because they made it special for that particular game.
Okay.
So any other game, they wear their regular hat, but because this was a team sanctioned thing, like, for this game, we're doing this, and then that's, you're not going to wear it another game. But it's the fact that they took that hat and added something to it. So now you're altering what was already approved by the management and ownership to do it. And that's where management kind of like gave a little slap on the hand, and everyone else is like, that's not good enough. Right. So, no, you're right. It's messy. It's toxic.
Yeah, and I'm sure people just say, can we just play baseball? Can we just go enjoy a baseball game?
Right.
So, I mean, I get it, but I guess there is a responsibility. I don't know. I'm so on the fence on it. I don't know where, because it just depends on where your belief system is, or what you choose to support, and how you choose to support it.
Yeah. And it's interesting coming from the team, the Giants, who have been one of the first supporters of when they started doing these Heritage Nights and supporting LGBT groups. They would have special games for that. They will always be in support of, and they've used to do a Until There's a Cure Day special game, right, for AIDS. So they've always been big supporters, and so this thing wasn't the team or the management that did it. It was a couple players, but it blew up in their face, and they just, it won't go away.
Well, let me ask you this, if you don't mind, because I want to bring my part of this into it too.
Yes.
Although I had the opinion, but also it's like when we talk about consumer spending, do you believe that there could be a backlash to attendance? I mean, I don't know how much of the community supports going to baseball, but I'm sure a good number of people do. You go to games every once in a while. Now, Shirley goes to all the games, basically. So there's a lot of people that are going to the games. Do you feel like you wouldn't go now at this point?
Well, I was there the night before. I was there Thursday night because a neighbor had an extra ticket. So
right.
I don't go a lot. The times I've gone, a lot of times I get in for free.
Well, okay, yes,
I know people.
Regardless, if you put the stand on it, you want to say.
But for the diehard fans, would it turn them off and make them not go to games? Possibly. Maybe. Now, the fact that the Giants are in the toilet right now in terms of the season, they're not doing well. So, I mean, I think it would hurt more if they were winning all the time, but they've been losing big time. So they are literally in the toilet. But no, it's definitely a valid point to raise, because it can impact the fan base if they, turn their backs. Just as what happened like last year and maybe even before that, when a certain administration came in, and then there were a lot of changes being made, which resulted in stores like Target and other companies that were, they used to, when you walk in during Pride Month, would have a big display of Pride, related items, and then gone, disappeared.
Talk about a seamless segue. Thank you very much for pitching it up, and let me hit it with the bat. Oh my God. We're on fire. We're on fire with these things. I wanted to share with you about the loss of support for Pride Month in retail. And to your point and to our discussion today, Target, Walmart, Amazon are all losing consumer spending money. And they're saying that statistics that I've read and looked at, 72% of LGBTQ consumers say they're buying less from companies perceived as scaling back diversity, equity, and inclusion, yourself included, right? So is it a Target thing? Because Target's one of the biggest losers right now. Yeah.
Oh no. When that all started, I have my red card, my Target red card, and that was my go-to for a lot of things. And I don't know if I'd go every weekend, but I'd go a lot. And I definitely stepped it back a lot.
Yep.
I think I went for a big gap of time where I didn't go, but my mom needed something that could only get there. Sure. So all right, wait in the car. I'll be right back.
Right, but you're talking with your dollars, and that's what a lot of people are saying. Because also another statistic, it's estimated that about $1.7 trillion is coming from the LGBTQ plus community when it comes to spending in, say, places like this. Right. So again, those major brands, including Amazon, are also losing money because people are actually unified in their distaste for the loss of or the non-participation or showing any kind of support for the community at all. Some places that actually, we talk about Target, it's Walmart, it's also Amazon, but it's also Chick-fil-A, of course, major contender, and Home Depot because of their removal of DEI restrictions.
Oh yeah, the whole DEI removal last year was a big deal.
Yes, and I think people,
a lot of companies,
and they're still talking with their dollars by not going to them and actually making adamant statements about never going back because they're shown their true colors. But do you remember a few years back, and let's say COVID, but even maybe not far away, every store had a huge pride display of something. Didn't matter what it was. It could be they put all their cups in a row, or they put mugs of the same colored striped flags like the one you have behind you, or something. Or for places like Target or Walmart or Amazon, they had true full kiosks full of product now.
Oh yeah, and I recall walking to Target. Once you get your cart right in front of you, right there was a big old display that had assortment things that were Pride related.
Clothes or hard goods or whatever there was. But, you know,
And
of
it was
course,
nothing like kind of offensive. Oh, you can't have the kids look at it. It was just,
and believe me, we'll have another discussion about this, about why everyone's so upset about it, because like, what are they doing to you that's so horrible? But anyway, so they're actually, I just thought we'd notice that or mention that too, because there actually are a few places that are doing well with it. So a lot of companies that are still supported in a good way by the community are
yes.
Costco, believe it or not,
Yeah.
Apple, Ben and Jerry's, Delta Airlines, and Kroger, which is basically a huge conglomerate of a lot of grocery stores, because they are still supporting and have never changed their stand on DEI or any of the other things when it comes to community. Although they might not have a huge pride display, but they've never changed their company policy of how they treat their people. And that was a huge factor also.
Adding to that list.
Yes, please.
Levi's.
Oh, yeah.
REI, which is a big sporting good, camping store, skiing, and all kinds of sports related store.
Yep.
Hot Topic, which is fast fashion, American Eagle, Abercrombie and Fitch, Old Navy. And this one I never heard of, but it made me think of you. The Bitter Southerner. It's a magazine, apparently. And I thought, is Don publishing them? Is he a publisher too?
Yeah, thanks for that. But I think the biggest thing, as I said, and we're talking about right now, is the fact that some companies never shifted away from their support of everyone. And we're not just talking about the LGBTQ plus community. It's minorities, it's people with disabilities, it's all of that. So it's a huge umbrella. But I mean, if they've never turned away, consumers have stayed loyal and are still going. So
for sure.
The companies that chose to walk away are the ones that are hurting the most right now. And
so sticking with the positive side and going back to sports for a moment.
Yeah.
There's an article I saw I don't read Sports USA, but it was online. Sports USA this month.
They're with bitter Southerners. Is that what that is?
Yes, it was a little side article. The 49ers for Pride Month this year, here in the Bay Area, that Levi Stadium in the South Bay, they have set up a rainbow seating section.
Okay.
So it's rainbow colored, and it says it's plan to renovate a section of Levi Stadium using rainbow colored seating in recognition of Pride Month. The designated area is intended to serve as a welcoming space for LGBTQ supporters attending 49ers games.
Huh.
So just for the month, they put it out there, took one of their areas and zhuzhed it up.
Yeah, that's a good.
So I thought that was great.
Absolutely.
Yes, and, they're getting backlash for it, of course. Social media, of course, went crazy. Some fans praising it. Others question whether sports and social causes should intersect.
Well, that's kind of what we talked about with the baseball game too, right?
Right.
I was kind of on the fence. I kind of understand both viewpoints. I don't support both, but I think that there is some validity to standing up for something.
And, we're in California, in the Bay Area, it's kind of not surprising that something like this would happen.
Right.
Whereas another state with a team that maybe is like, maybe not, that's not something they would consider doing. Mm-hmm. Even though they would probably have an LGBTQ fan base that would go and support their teams and go to their games because they like the sports and they like the teams, but maybe they're not, catering to and being upfront about supporting the LGBT group.
There's also subtle ways to do this, because one of the things I've seen when I drive home, there's a car dealership and it's a Jeep dealership. And guess what they did? They lined up Jeeps in red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. Nice. As a very subtle support, but it's like, most people, if you're not gay, maybe you don't even know what the flag looks like, but like, oh, those are cute cars. They look like jelly beans, but it's like, it's actually a very subtle message and support. And I kind of really love that, because
for sure.
It's not in your face. It's just like, yeah, we're here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really like that. So.
Do you have anything on what's been happening internationally? And I'm sorry I didn't have details on this, but there is a new, I want to say like in Norway and also in Amsterdam. Mm-hmm. Isn't there like a new, for lack of a better, prime minister or leader or whatever?
Norway, the new prime minister the Norway prime minister is gay.
Right. And then I think in Amsterdam, if it's like the mayor or something like that, but a high political figure, also very open, gay, whatever. Right. And they, of course, they're celebrating it.
Yes, of course. Well,
Yeah.
Norway is a very progressive country in every single way. If you think about their economics, their open opinions to lifestyle, but also their ability to deal with global warming, their recycling, they're ahead of the game in every single aspect
Right. Right.
into it. We should
Yeah.
do a special on Norway one time.
Yes. Or go visit Norway and record from there.
Yes, although it's a little cold, it's beautiful.
Well, just, wear our thermals will be fine.
Okay. So let's see. Do you want to move on to a different topic, or do you have another one?
Let's see if I have more. Well, some things are are negative things, but
Well, I don't. That's why we're going to Escandalo.
Yes, please, you go.
Okay, there's a couple of things, and you might have heard about them, that happened down here during Pride Month that actually were controversial, but also they were just glitches in the system and some bad decision making.
Okay.
The first one was the LA or WeHo Pride Parade was going to be originally hosted by Nikki Hilton, who was a member of the Beverly Hills Wives or whatever. So once she was announced as the Grand Marshal for the WeHo Parade, there was a huge kerfluffle because people started to question her liaisons with the current administration because she had been seen at previous parties at Mar-a-Lago, and she was accused of making some homophobic slurs on her Real Housewives of, is it Beverly Hills? I don't watch that show.
Nikki Hilton is not a Real Housewife. Her mother is a friend of. Her aunt is a longtime member, but she does show up occasionally in party scenes. Yeah.
I don't know, but they basically, because of
Ask me, I know.
Her liaisons, her connections to being seen at Mar-a-Lago. Who knows? It seems to be like on there's different sides of the story, because she has been in many ways supportive of LGBTQ plus communities, I guess. I don't know enough about it. What I do know is that the girls were upset because Nikki Hilton was going to be the Grand Marshal. So instead of having anyone, they had no one. So they had no one. But this, like, everyone was saying,
that's kind of shocking.
Especially WeHo or LA, you would think, because most times it's some celebrity. I think it was Paris Hilton a number of years back. They've had everybody and their mother who supports the community. So why would they choose this person? Nobody knows. But also the big question, which was kind of another controversy, is that why are they always choosing a celebrity? Why not someone who truly makes a difference in the LGBTQ plus community? Someone who is a fundraiser, or someone who has a great cause, or someone who's been all of their lives dedicated to the support of the community. Yeah. I mean, I who doesn't like to see a celebrity every once in a while in a car? But there's probably a lot of better choices.
I don't know that naming a certain celebrity as a Grand Marshal is going to attract that much more people. People are going to come for the event, not just the parade, but the whole week or weekend of festivities and partying. They're not coming because of one person. And for the organizers to pick someone who either they think, she's popular, she's got X number of followers on social media, so she must be popular.
Yeah.
I don't know how they determine that.
No, I get it too, but also it's like, I don't know. It's like, you're not going there to see that one person for 3 minutes on a Cadillac and waving. That's not it. But I mean, it's interesting also on this side note is like the cost. The parades, of course, are free because they're to the public, but the private parties have gotten so expensive that, I think they've had a couple of years in LA. They've had like Kylie Minogue. They've had a whole bunch of huge headliners come in to sing at the festival, which is so incredibly expensive. I think the San Francisco festival is just a donation, right?
Right. So when you walk into the Civic Center area, they come in from different sides of it because it's several blocks. Mm-hmm. So at each entrance, they'll have people holding buckets for suggested donations. Right. But are they going to let you in without giving money? No, I'm sure.
Okay.
It's not like, because it's a donation, not a entrance fee.
Right.
So but most people do give. Yeah.
Well, the second El Scandalo that took place was the Long Beach Pride celebration, where the committee, there's always a group that is organizing the actual activity itself of Pride, parade, festivals or whatever. And the city of Long Beach actually refused the committee for Pride this month to actually hold their festival because allegedly they didn't file their paperwork on time and they had changed let's see, they changed organizers and production companies just 2 days before the event. So they still had a parade, but they did not have a festival that they usually had because actually I've gone to that. It's actually quite fun. They have a huge space they actually use near the aquarium that's really wonderful, but they didn't get to use that. Luckily, the city actually did step in and said, okay, well, we'll provide you with some other venues, but you can't use this one. So, of course, the discussion turns into the people organizing the event who supposedly didn't file on time or didn't do that. So there was this big kerfluffle about who said what and who's filed what on time. But the reality is that, the city is beholden to keeping up their rules in place, because if I didn't file my paperwork on time, I wouldn't be allowed to have my festival or whatever. So
Sure.
they can't really make an exception. They might have been able to, but it's also not setting a good example by letting this one group go through without following the proper procedures. And you're a volunteer with the city. I'm sure they have a lot of parameters they need to be followed to get a public event to take place. I'm sure
for sure.
A lot of hoops, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, so that didn't happen. But again, of course, the girls got together and they say, well, let's tear down the group that's not organizing this because they didn't have it together. And I think it's a lie. And it turned into a lot of drama because supposedly the community turned against the committee and they want to tear it down or change it because they can't even get a Pride event. They've had a whole year to organize.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, it happens the same time every year and there's deadlines to be met. So
yes.
Is it the same person who waits until the night of April 14th to file their income tax? Because that's the day it's due the next morning. At midnight, they're putting it,
Yeah. So that was mine. What else you got?
Well, so we've been talking about, Pride events in California, which have always been going on, whether they actually take place or not, but they are organized, they're planned for. But I read how other states choose the month of June to highlight other things, to take away the focus of Pride Month. So Tennessee kicked off the Rename June trend this year, because they can't call Pride Month, by designating the month as Nuclear Family Month. The declaration said that nuclear families are one husband, one wife, and any biological, adopted, or fostered children, and God's design for familiar structure. That's Tennessee. Arkansas, and my dear friend Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who's the governor.
How are you two? Are you talking these days?
Well, no, she's not been returning my calls.
Okay.
She declared June Fidelity Month to celebrate cultivating fidelity to God, family, community, and country. Sanders then shared a Daily Wire story explaining that she made this declaration specifically for the purpose of counter-programming Pride Month. So she put it out there. It's like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. Alabama, they declared June Strong Families Month. So every state has their own version of what they want to do, but it's about family and faith and not the gays.
Yeah.
So Alabama was Strong Families Month.
Yeah.
The proclamation makes it clear that strong families do not include families headed by same-sex couples. Homes led by stable parents, a father and a mother, provide children with the structure and discipline necessary to succeed.
Oh, yeah?
I know plenty of families with a mother and a father, and they are up. Yes.
Have you watched SVU at all? Come on, people.
Indiana, they copied Tennessee's wording and designated June Nuclear Family Month, saying that families consist of one husband, one wife, and a biological blah, blah, blah. Utah is Fidelity Month. And then Ron DeSantis declares Florida, declares June Faith and Family Month to honor biblical families.
Well, if you live in Florida, you get what you deserve, I got to say.
So not everyone is having a pride parade.
Well, speaking of him, because I had something on DeSantis also, he actually passed a bill earlier this year that empowers the government to forcibly remove any elected official who supports pride organizations in the state. So let's never go to Florida, shall we? Because I got to say, sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, the taking away, just like last year was taking away DI stuff from companies, right? Like you can't do this anymore. And that continues surprisingly under the, same administration.
Yeah.
So Trump removes LGBTQ plus veterans healthcare programs. So facilities across the U.S. have been ordered by Department of Veterans Affairs to get rid of gender identity-based initiatives and remove LGBTQ plus classification across medical coordinators who help LGBTQ plus veterans across medical care. So yeah, just anything to do, if it's got LGBT in front of it, get rid of it.
Okay. Here's the thing, and we're going to go a little philosophical now. We're going to take a pivot to the left or to the right, whichever way you want to think about it. But
please,
pivot. I think, and maybe you'll agree or maybe you won't, but Pride festivals and Pride parades had gotten, over the years, a number of years back, had gotten so incredibly corporate driven.
Yes.
Everyone was depending so much on that money coming in to finance the event itself. And what I'm hoping in the back of my little head is that maybe because of all the things that I had here when it comes to Pride events and parades that have been canceled this year because of the lack of funding, but also the lack of support, would mean that maybe we could go back to a little more grassroots when it comes to having a festival where you just file your report on time or file your permits on time and have a much smaller event that's not funded by Bank of America, Costco, or sorry, I shouldn't say Costco, Bank of America or Chick-fil-A or whoever it is you're looking for the money from. Because a lot of people I've heard and I've read commenting on it saying, let's go back to what it was really meant to be, which was not floats driven by Cadillacs or however they're funded. So what do you think?
Well, I was going to ask you a side question to do with the parades, because I've mostly seen the San Francisco one. I've not been to too many other cities during Pride. And in your situation, the cities you've been to, when you've been there for Pride and seen the parades, how long do the parades last?
The San Francisco would last a long time. I remember the one.
No. I'll get to that in an hour.
They're long. They are long. Unless it's in a small city. Although even the Palm Springs event is pretty fun. It's not that long. It's maybe an hour and a half, maybe.
Okay.
So it's not long, but it's a smaller city or smaller town and it's shorter.
Well, when you say grassroots, it makes me think of when several years ago, it was 2018, I was in Prague.
Okay.
And the hotel that we were staying at was right up against the river. And I went out for a walk. I didn't know that it was in June. No, actually it was in August, but it was their Pride Month. And they were having one of their first, if not very first, it was like, they've only had it a few years, the Pride Parade in the city of Prague. And so I happened to be walking towards the river and then there's a parade coming. And it was so sweet because it was, it's these young kids and, there was no corporate sponsors. It was just people either walking or in their cars, or, in the back of a pickup, whatever, and a little music. And it was just like fun and light and easy.
Yes.
And I stayed a little bit and didn't last that long, but I went on. But then I'm thinking of San Francisco where I haven't seen the parade in a while. I want to go see it. So you want to get there in the very beginning so you can see it from the start. And then it's so big and there's so many contingents and they're so spread apart that one will go by and then like 20 minutes, like, are we done? Is this it? And then, so the next contingent comes and then they, then it's a marching band. It's all good, but there's so much of it. And it goes on for, 4-6 hours?
When it's that big, who the hell stays for the whole thing? Because I know you and I never did.
I watched a little bit. I said, okay, I'm tired. I went to go get lunch. I came back. It was still going on. And to your point about the corporate sponsors, some of the contingents were so huge because it was, fill in any big company name. And instead of having 25 people marching in that group, it was 1,000. Right? It was taking up like city blocks of people, just one group.
Yes.
And then what happened, I want to say last year, is when the whole DEI thing happened, a lot of those companies either cut it way down or backed away completely. So then to your point about the lack of funding, it was like, where's everyone? And a lot of groups, companies disappeared or they cut way back or didn't. If they were only providing financial support, were doing a lot less or none at all. And there
and
were
I
talks
assume
about we may not have a parade this year. I mean, this was last year,
I've
but
got a
yeah.
list of places that didn't have one this year, but also
Mm,
it costs a lot of money to do that, especially in San Francisco, which is probably one of the biggest next to New York or possibly LA. They do generate a lot of
yeah,
money, but I don't know that the money that or that the events generate pay for the civic services that are needed to set up security, clean up afterwards. So it's got to be a huge amount of cleanup.
oh
Although
yeah,
they're really good. I've seen it.
yeah,
San Francisco cleans up like that. They got
yeah,
it down. But imagine hosting that many people. And I've definitely read that they've made millions of dollars off of the event. But I'm sure it costs millions of dollars to
yeah,
run
yeah,
the event.
right.
So I mean, it's a give and take. And you know what? What's wrong with seeing a bunch of people pulling a wagon that has streamers with like the pride colors on it with a pinata or something? It's
Yeah,
like, come on. So.
exactly.
We'll see. We'll see where it goes. It'll be very interesting to see what happens next year, just because of the fallout from the decisions that were made in the administration. I
Yeah.
mean, I get it, but and also, are you going this year
Uh, so I've been asked to march in the parade. Last year I marched
again?
with the mayor. I
Grand
was asked
Marshal?
again. I've been asked by, because they all do it. They send out to their, so I've been asked by our supervisor, by our assemblyman, by our
Hmm.
mayor. And I'm not sure, because while it's fun to being in the parade, because you just, you walk from the beginning to the end and then you're done. Right.
Right.
And it might take an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever the length is of the duration of the
Right.
actual route. But all you get to see are the people staring at you. Whereas if you're on the side watching the parade, you get to see the floats and the marching bands and the celebrities. And so you get to see a lot of more visual stuff.
Right.
I don't know if I will be watching the parade or if I'll be in the parade. I know that one of the groups that I volunteer for, we are co-hosting a after parade party.
Oh, that'll be fun.
And I am, because I'm the social director, I will be dropping off cookies or something at the party, and I'll be there in the Civic Center area. So I will be in the area, but I don't really go to the festival because it's just so damn crowded.
I know.
As you know.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not, it's fun, but also it's super crowded, and there's not a lot of shade. There's no seating. It's just, for us older folks, I need shade. I need to sit down. I need a little quiet.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I think they televise it on probably one of the local cable networks. I'm sure you could watch it on TV.
Some of them do. They probably go to the cast show because it's super quiet there because everyone's left to go to the Civic Center.
And doesn't it, I know we're going off on a tangent, but doesn't it change directions certain years? Does it go up or go down Market?
No, it always starts at the foot of Market and ends at Civic Center, because in the Civic Center area is where the big festival is.
Foot of Market, like down by the ferry building?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was in the Pride celebration one year too. I was on a float.
For one
IKEA,
of the companies you work for. Yeah,
for
IKEA.
IKEA.
I do remember
I've
that.
got pictures.
But was that up here or down in L? I mean,
that was
San
up
Francisco.
In San Francisco, actually.
Okay.
But that was way back in the day because I left them a long time ago. But it was fun. It was fun, but we're on a big float, but it took hours because what people don't realize behind the scenes is down south of Market is a huge caravan of floats, people, bands, groups, all queuing up to come and do their thing.
On the side streets off of Market, at the foot of Market, we're all lined up, and then they start feeding you in little by little. I one time marched with the fire department, and we were like, way back, like number 300 and something contingent, right? Yeah. Way back there. And so we had to get to our designated meeting place by a certain time in the morning, and basically just waited. Let's say 10 o'clock, we had to be there. I did not step foot onto Market Street until 2 o'clock because everyone else had to feed. So it was 4 hours before I even touched the street of where you're walking. And then, because the times I've done it, I've not been on a float, I've been walking. You can't wave and look at the sides because you have to look down because there's potholes. There's the grates where you could probably, take a tumble and fall and
break a hip.
So no, you have to be super vigilant about looking down, looking ahead. Yeah. And so it's a little stressful.
So I have to say, maybe wrapping us up a little bit, that, this is a very interesting time for all of these Pride celebrations. It is interesting to see where we're going to come out on the other end of it. I think we will. It'll be interesting to see if it does gentrify into something a little more, can I say, meaningful for the community, as opposed to a big float with Nikki Hilton on it. I think, although maybe you had her kicked off because you wanted to be the Grand Marshal. I'm not sure.
Well, I know people, but I think part of what we talk about is in direct relation to the current administration and all the negative stuff that has with that. When there's a turn, hopefully there'll be a more positive spin on this.
Yeah.
But I do agree with your point about it'd be nice to get a little bit more, community-based.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get it's a party. I get we like Kylie Minogue. I get it. But I also want to feel something about it too.
Yeah.
Not just where's the margaritas.
And who's got the biggest, donation.
Or float. Well, that's not double entendres for me.
Right. So we have talked Pride and Prejudice.
Yes. Oh,
today.
yes. Yes.
Are we ready to wrap it up?
I think so. I just wanted to make one more comment.
Yes,
this
please.
has never happened before. On our, I forget which page it was, but one of our social media pages, there actually was a gentleman that came on and called us fools. Did you see that?
Is that a fool as in a compliment?
I don't know. I don't think so because I blocked them. So.
Oh, okay.
We ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for that. So it's like, no. So anyone with, the negative or condescending views, just keep them to yourself. You can hate us from afar without telling us.
We don't need to meet you, hear from you, see you, anything like that.
Ever again. So Gary, why don't you close us down?
It's all in fun.
Yes.
And speaking of fun, we do have fun doing this. We have guests to come on, or it's just the two of us just,
And we have so much coming still. We have so much coming.
We do. We have more guests coming.
Yes.
We're going to be doing another Salute to Hollywood. I think we're going to focus on Rob Reiner films.
I would love
we just have to pick which ones we want to focus on.
Okay.
And who do we else? And there's always new guests coming on. So we have
two in the can still. Two in the can. We're going to let you two out soon. I swear we will.
Well, is Ken part 2? Is Ken in the can
Ken
still?
part 2 is going to come out before this one does. So it's going to be Ken part 2, which was lovely. You were actually quite a good.
So Ken is still in the can, but Ken will get out of the can.
Well, by the time this airs, Ken will be out of the can.
Yes.
And then this will be out because we're going to punch him out over week this night because I don't want it to sit anymore. And then we have, should we say who our guests are or up to you?
Well, one of the guests we went to high school with, but also...
Shocker.
We haven't recorded yet, but we're going to. But I met her, if it's not kindergarten, it's like first grade.
Oh, and she has some scuttlebutt. I did, yes, about you.
Yes, so
that's not a teaser. I don't know.
We'll talk about that later. But so it's all good. You can, as Don said in the beginning, you can see us on YouTube. You can hear us on Apple, Spotify, wherever your favorite podcasts air. You can visit our website at Pod page to see everything. You can leave a message. You can watch, pull up past episodes. You can see us on social media, which includes Facebook and Instagram. I'm having a little trouble accessing our Gmail account to see if anyone's emailed us. I'm having a challenge with that. But our email address, if you want to send us any messages or a suggested topic or you want to be a guest, that email address is donandgarydoin60@gmail.com. Did I cover all the bases?
YouTube.
Yes. Well, did I not say YouTube? You can watch us on YouTube. Yes. Yes, I did.
Where can they watch us?
At Pfeiffer.
3 years. It's in 3 years. Listen, just Google us. If you just Google us, just Don and Gary doing 60, you're going to find all the places that we go. So listen, children, just Google us and we'll find.
Yes. So there you have it.
Okay.
We're done with Pride and Prejudice.
No
for
prejudice,
now.
Pride now going forward. So you have a happy Pride month. And don't forget that joining Don and Gary doing 60 is like getting lucky. Blew it. I'll edit this, but joining the Don and Gary podcast means getting lucky. I can't do it.
Well, pull out your pink Post-it and read it.
Thank you for joining the Don and Gary podcast, where getting lucky means finding a good parking spot.
You couldn't remember that?
boy.
That's hilarious.
Blooper reel number 93, I guess. Anyway. Thanks, Gary. You did a great job.
All righty.
Pride.
Happy Pride.
Talk
We
to
will
you
see
soon.
you.
Bye.
Bye.